The trade that sent A.J. Brown to the Patriots left a hole in our hearts, but the massive return is finally coming into focus for 2027. We are looking at a future where the Eagles use that specific first-round pick to solidify the trenches for a decade. It is a bold strategy from the front office that prioritizes long-term dominance over immediate flash. As a lifelong insider, I see the vision coming together, but it always requires patience and a deep belief in the process. Subscribe now for more exclusive updates. Caden Green is the name every Eagles fan needs to memorize because he represents the direct outcome of the blockbuster trade involving A.J. Brown. When Philadelphia sent their star receiver to the New England Patriots, the primary goal was to secure high-value draft assets that could sustain the team's championship window. This particular pick is currently projected to land right in the middle of the first round, giving the Eagles a prime opportunity to grab a foundational piece for the offensive line. This young man from Missouri has already shown incredible versatility by playing at both guard and tackle, and he is exactly the type of player that keeps our quarterbacks clean and our running game explosive. Beyond this massive move, we are also looking at how the team plans to reload the defensive side of the ball. In this same projected draft class, the Eagles are targeting Damon Wilson-Tekin from Miami to bolster the edge rush. They are also looking at Corey Myrick, a hard-hitting safety from Clemson, and Cam Cook, a dynamic running back out of West Virginia, who could eventually replace the production we expect from veterans like Saquon Barkley. It is a full-scale rebuild of the core while maintaining a competitive roster. We also have to consider the future of guys like Dallas Goedert and Moro Ojomo, whose roles might change as these new faces arrive. The front office is clearly worried about the interior offensive line and the safety position, which have been points of concern for us lately. Even though the 2027 season feels far away, the decisions made today regarding the roster and our salary cap space are all tied back to that pivotal moment when we decided to move on from our top receiver. It is a high-stakes game of chess being played by the general manager. By bringing in a talent who allowed only 7 pressures at tackle last season, the Eagles are ensuring that even if Landon Dickerson or Tyler Steen face injuries or contractual hurdles, the line remains a wall. This is how you build a dynasty in the modern NFL, by thinking 3 steps ahead of everyone else in the division. Looking closely at this prospect's playstyle, it becomes clear why the scouting department is so high on his potential impact. He possesses a rare combination of raw power and technical refinement that allows him to neutralize even the fastest pass rushers in the collegiate ranks. When you watch the tape, you see a player who understands leverage and uses his hands with surgical precision. This is vital for our system because the Philadelphia coaching staff demands offensive linemen who can pull in the run game while remaining stalwarts in pass protection. His move from guard to tackle last season demonstrated a level of football intelligence that is rarely seen in underclassmen. He transitions seamlessly, showing that he can handle the speed on the edge just as well as the bull rushes on the interior. This flexibility gives our head coach so many options when constructing the weekly game plan. If we face a team with a dominant defensive tackle, we can slide him inside to provide extra muscle. If the opponent has a lightning-fast defensive end, he has the footwork to stay in front and protect the blind side. This kind of versatility is exactly what has made our offensive line the envy of the league for years. Beyond the physical traits, there is a certain grit and blue-collar work ethic that fits the Philadelphia culture perfectly. He plays through the whistle and looks for work on every snap, which is a trait that veterans on the squad will immediately respect. This moves the needle for the franchise because it provides an insurance policy against the natural aging process of our current starters. We know that the trenches are where games are won and lost in the NFC East, especially against rivals who are constantly trying to find ways to penetrate our backfield. By investing such a high pick in this specific position, the organization is sending a message that they will never compromise on the safety of the quarterback or the efficiency of the ground attack. It keeps the offensive identity intact while allowing for a smooth transition between generations of talent. We have seen other teams fall apart when their legendary linemen retire, but this strategy ensures the Eagles remain a powerhouse. The reason this entire situation is so critical for the fans to understand is that it directly affects our ability to win more games and compete for championships in the very near future. If the front office can successfully hit on these high draft picks, it means our team stays younger, faster, and much cheaper than our opponents. This is how we avoid the trap of having too many expensive veterans and not enough talent to fill out the rest of the roster. Think about it simply. Every time a rookie steps in and plays like a star, it saves the team millions of dollars that can be used to bring in other helpful players. This helps us avoid the risk of failure that comes when a team gets too old and slow to keep up with the rest of the league. We want to see a season where our defense isn't tired in the fourth quarter and our offense can move the ball whenever they want. This move helps us achieve that. It also protects us against the heartbreak of losing key stars to free agency because we already have their replacements ready to go. When you look at the safety position or the edge rushers, having young talent like the players mentioned earlier means we don't have to panic if a contract negotiation doesn't go our way. It gives the team leverage and keeps us in a position of strength. For the older fans who have seen decades of Eagles football, we know that the most frustrating seasons are the ones where the team has no plan for the future. We've seen years where the roster was thin and one injury ruined everything. This strategy is the cure for that anxiety. It ensures that the Philadelphia Eagles have a deep pool of talent at the most important positions on the field. It means more Sunday afternoons where we can celebrate big wins instead of worrying about who is going to play next week. The direct consequence of these picks is a more stable and exciting team for all of us to cheer for. It builds a foundation that can withstand the ups and downs of a long NFL season. We have to consider the best-case scenario where every one of these picks turns into an all-pro caliber player. If that happens, the Eagles will have the most dominant offensive line in football for the next decade. We could see a team that controls the clock, wears down defenses, and makes every game look easy. The young pass rushers would be living in the opponent's backfield, creating turnovers and giving our offense extra chances to score. In this world, we are talking about multiple Super Bowl appearances and a legacy of greatness that rivals any era in our history. It is a dream scenario that every fan wants to see come true. But we also have to be honest about the worst-case scenario. If these young players struggle to adapt to the speed of the NFL, the consequences could be devastating. We would be left with holes in the roster that we can't afford to fill with expensive free agents. A failed first-round pick on the offensive line could lead to more sacks and potential injuries to our star players. If the defense doesn't get the boost it needs from the new edge rushers, we could see our secondary getting picked apart by rival quarterbacks. The tension is real because the stakes are so high for this franchise. We are betting the future on the scouting department's ability to identify the right personalities and skill sets. Every single one of these picks represents a massive investment of hope and resources. If it fails, we could be looking at several years of mediocrity and missed opportunities. The difference between being a contender and a bottom dweller often comes down to just a few of these high-pressure decisions. That is why we watch every game and analyze every move so closely. We care about the result because it matters to our community and our families. We want to be proud of the team that represents our city. The pressure is on the coaches to develop this talent and on the players to live up to the hype. It is a balancing act that will define the next chapter of Eagles football. In the end, the plan to use the assets from the New England trade to rebuild the trenches is a smart, calculated risk. It addresses the clear weaknesses at offensive line and safety while keeping an eye on the future of our pass rush and backfield. We are looking at a team that is refusing to become complacent. They are actively seeking ways to improve even when they are already competitive. But I want to know what you think about this long-term approach. Be honest with me. Would you rather have kept a proven star like A.J. Brown, or do you trust the front office to turn that draft pick into a foundational piece that could last for 12 years? Is it too early to be thinking about 2027, or is this exactly why the Eagles are always in the conversation for the playoffs? Your voice matters to this community, so let's start the debate in the comments below. If you appreciate this deep dive analysis into our birds, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly!